Sure you got enough room and stuff?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
We're gonna put them when they're done. I guess we'll get these two things out of the way, huh?
Yeah, I can just stack them there, and then, you know, when they're done, I can put them back in their boxes, I guess.
Yeah.
I have to remember how these are packed, though.
Yeah.
They've got them stacked top to bottom.
Yeah.
So, that's how they got to go back in. Mystic Jim. What wisdom do I have for you tonight? The wisdom of how to sign things with Paul Seco. Because I have 2 whole fucking boxes of these to sign tonight. Oh no. Don't do it. That's going to make it a lot of fun to sign.
We might have to... I don't know. It's pretty bad, babe.
Let me see.
It's pretty bad.
See what I can do here. Okay, it's back. Just a momentary flicker. A rush of blood to the head. Surprising amount of Texans in the server, me included. Oh yeah, there always are. Surprising amount of Texans in the world, period.
Yeah, you gotta see what they did with theirs, if they did anything on the back or
Yeah.
inside.
Let's see. They signed on the front. I don't think they signed on the inside, so that's fine. I'll draw something on the inside. I'll give out some dicks. He's still signing. Yeah, well, these are for a different, what you call it?
Order thing.
What's going on there? Are my Sharpies dead already? No. They just don't show up very well on this, do they? Nope.
Well, I'm gonna have to look for something else then, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think these is gonna work.
Damn.
Fucking paint pens. Yeah, they just don't even show.
Damn it.
Need the silver Sharpie or whatever. It's okay. We can get... Babe, honey. We don't need to worry about it today. We'll go tomorrow and we'll get paint pens and whatever we need.
Okay.
I'm not worried about it. It just sucks. Yeah, that you can't even see. It's so shitty. I had such nice paint pens before we moved. In fact, it was me that started having the guys use these paint pens because they show up so much better. And now I can't fucking find my paint pens. So that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Shitty. Yeah, I definitely need paint pens for it. That's okay, though. I'll get them done. I've been really lagging ass on this. I just absolutely, because I wasn't expecting them when they came, and so I was like, oh, okay, I got a bunch of these to do, and then I stuck them in a corner, and they've just been sitting there. Like, it's like, oh, oops. That's okay. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the butt, though. The paint pens, you have to, like, set them aside and let them dry out fully before you set them down. It can be kind of a pain. How high is the stack? Well, it's two of these boxes completely full. So there's probably, like, I don't know, what do you think that stack is? 10, 20, 30, probably 30 or 40 in a box. So I'd say I'm doing probably about 100. I'd say there's probably 50 in the box. Times 2. That's a lot of Blu-rays, yeah. It's a cool-ass Blu-ray, too. I think we really outdid ourselves on the Blu-ray edge. Very cool inside, you know. Very neat. Little blue rage. Your hands will be hurting. Oh yeah. You gotta harden up. That's okay. Yeah, those Sharpies just wasn't gonna work. What does the description on the back say? Description on the back says, "Hey guys, TJ here. Scotty's been bugging me for like 3 weeks or some shit to get this DVD cover done, and I've been putting it off. You're supposed to put descriptions on the back of these things, but I don't know what you want from me. It's our Vegas live show. I think that's obvious from the title of the thing, right? You're not stupid. Basically, what's on this thing is the God Bombs play some music, then Scotty does a set, then Paul does a set, then I do a set, then we all do a set where we invite the crowd up to do some participation stuff, and that's pretty much it. So now you know what's in the thing. Big frickin' whoop." That's what it says. The retards are out in force tonight. All right. They've been out in force lately, so we're going to go ahead and change that to... I'll just put the monkey button on. Put on that monkey button. Yeah. It's a shame. Ooh, but you live, you learn. These, like, jewel-colored Sharpies do not show up. Now I know. Huh, D. And furthermore, right? Right, D? And furthermore, dibbity dibbity squibbity. Okay, well, what am I gonna do? I guess I'll just smoke some weed with you guys then. For your future reference, Sharpie Mystic Gems don't show up on shit, so don't get them. Because they don't show up on shit. Part of the live show. Best part of the live show was the Kamehameha competition. Oh, yeah. People went nuts with the Kamehameha. Yeah, I saw that. I saw the video of somebody brought a live chicken into the Minecraft thing. I don't even know why they're, like... There's a part of me that's like, okay, you know, it's kids having fun. And then there's another part of me that's like, if I had to clean that shit up, it would be fully fucking... I would be snatching a skivvy and I'd be beating somebody up. I saw this post where somebody was like, there's like bodily fluids and vomit and soda and popcorn all over every inch of this theater when it's done. And it's just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. Like, it's one thing to, like, have fun. Like, have fun at a theater, have fun at a movie. It's another thing to trash a place that you're not responsible for cleaning up. Somebody else. That's what I was reading, man. They said that there was like piss and vomit, just like unidentifiable smelly liquids and sugary syrup and ice cream drippings and popcorn all over every inch of the theater. So can I blame some of the smeared writing on my signed Blu-rays, Scotty and TJ? Yeah, if there was any smeared writing, it wasn't Paul. I did some actual smear, like I did some smearing on purpose. Like, so if you got if you got one of the one of the John X copies, then I would put a little extra paint and then I would whip the DVD cover to make it spread like blood. Like it looked like blood, kind of. That was cool. Amelia did it. Amelia the goat.
Yeah.
Amelia the goat. She found them.
I know you said to stop looking, but I'm like, no, you know what?
Hey, you're like me, but when I'm trying to fix something.
Yeah. I gotta do it.
Just knew they were here somewhere. So now I can actually sign it. That's fantastic.
Got it. Round 2.
Yeah, all right. We're back in business. Come on. In or out? Hot, cold, yes, no, up, down, left, right.
I don't even know what we're gonna do with these.
I'll just hold on to them. I mean, they'll work for other things, maybe.
Yeah, like cards or something.
Cards and stuff like that, yeah. But for now, we want the bunny. All right, I got red. I'm going to need red. I'm going to need my greens. I don't know about the purple. Definitely going to want the green and the yellow. I'm going to need them all. I need all my primary color paint pens. My blue. Okay. Get all that here. This is an art project for me. You know what I mean?
You sure you have enough room and stuff?
Huh?
You sure you have enough room?
I think so, yeah. I think we got plenty of room, and I'm going to get myself a couple of fresh silver Sharpies. Okay.
You need test paper or anything?
No, it should be fine. Should be okay. Let's see what we do. Yeah, that's better. Not as good as I thought it was going to be, though. Some of these silver, yeah,
And
maybe
is Scotty on the back of that one?
Scotty, yeah, Scotty is on the back.
Okay, you just gotta make sure you don't scritch his too
Yeah,
much.
yeah. So I just got to be delicate with these.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's one down. Okay. What are you doing with them? Signing them, and then, like, what I like to do is I'll sign them, and then just randomly I'll do some extra stuff on some of them.
Yeah, that one's sexier.
Way better. I'm going to redo this one, in fact.
So this one just goes in the garbage.
What?
This one?
Yeah, that one's dead. Beautiful. We got it. So some of these I'm just going to sign in my silver Sharpie, right? So these are all quick drying and I don't got to really worry about it. But every once in a while we stop. And we do it. Scotty signed this one weird. So So I got to sign it on the back.
I start using the paint pens too. You just got to make sure you're not scraping it back and forth too much.
Yeah. It's fine. They're good and dry and stuff now, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Yeah, more DVDs going out. More, well, these are, I think, these are the...
One of the merch tier incentives from a few months ago or something, maybe.
Yeah. So...
Or they were another limited run of it, I can't remember.
I'm gonna do... Tomat has to sign some of these. And then you do, what I like to do is, for the senior Tomat ones, the little dot on the senior is yellow. And then we do purple or blue leaves on it. We're gonna do blue petals on this flower. It's beautiful. See what I mean? Now that is what I'm talking about. That's beautiful. I'm gonna leave this one to kind of dry for a minute, and we'll move on to a normaler one. Oh, Scotty did. Jesus. TJ signed the whole front. Scotty signed the whole back. Paul's ego's got to find a new spot to sign. I'm going to sign on the inside of this. I'm going to sign right on fucking TJ's head. That's what he gets for signing the whole front. Like, filled with hubris. I wanted the coveted dick drawings. TJ also wrote "fuck spaghetti." Neat. Yeah, I do need to throw a dick or two on one of these. Maybe we'll do a dick on the next one. Yeah, this one looks dickable. I'll sign it normally on the front, right? You can do the normal Paul's ego. Sneak it in there in between these ostentatious Kirk signatures. And then we're going to come in here. And I think we're going to give somebody the golden dick. We'll do it just like this. Yeah, balls. Shaft. Head. Shining light coming off of the golden dick. Oh, 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 oh. All right, one lucky guy will get that, I guess. Let's see, how's this tomat done? This tomat is still not dry.
Let's put it up here.
What was that?
You want to just put it up here?
It's okay. I'll just put it here for now. I don't think that'll work. I noticed a silver dick on mine. Ah, it's coveted. Yeah. I only do dicks on a very few of these, you know what I mean? Like this one here is gonna just, I'm gonna sign it, you know what I mean? I'm just gonna put a Paul's ego on there. Just like that.
It wouldn't be custom if they weren't different.
It's true. Each one has its own flavor. Here's what we'll do. Is it a movie? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a DVD. It's a live show that we did, and we had it filmed for a DVD. Damn. Whoa. Scotty really went nuts on this one. They left me no spots to play around with this one. So we'll just do this.
Do a normal sig
Yep.
over your head.
Yep. There we go. Very cool. Next.
It looks like they got the same pens you did, huh?
Yeah, they did. I told them the brand because they wanted to know that first batch. TJ asked me, like, what brand of paint pens are you using? I told him I just got the Sharpie ones. and they ordered them. They work really well, but they are susceptible to like
little scritches. This one got a little scrooched.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. There's one there. Hello, Goon Squad. Nate, what's up? All right, this one's going to be a special one. So on some of these, I would make sure that I give an implicit death threat to one of my co-hosts. In this case, it's going to be TJ. Okay, so we got our initial marking down on the front. Now we're going to sign. Got that done too. But inside is where the magic happens.
People are gonna get little puffs of your weed smoke in this one too.
I know. You might even get some weed ash or something in yours because it's just I'm gonna smoke my way through this. So that's just the way it's gonna be.
Coveted Paul's Ego J Ash.
Right, and then watch this. This is what creates the magic. Oh yeah, subtle on this one. You see? John X with a little bit of drippings in there. And then, of course, TJ's dead eyes. TJ's marked for death by John X. That's a special one. That one's God.
Did you want to leave that one open to dry too, or no?
No, I think it'll be okay. Closed up. It's not gonna like drip, I don't think. There's not enough of it. Yeah. It'll be just fine.
You think these ones are good too?
Yeah, those are probably okay to button up now. This one's looking good. And this one is looking good. Beautiful. All right, we're making our way through them. You see, it's a slow process. Mm-hmm. Are these all done too? Yeah, okay. These are all done too. I'll just move them over here for now. Okay. What's the signing for? My our DVD. So I have a podcast called Deep Fat Fried. We also do live meetups and stuff. And this is from our Las Vegas meetup last year.
Last year, or was it the year before?
Year before last, maybe even. Yeah. We did a big meetup in Vegas, and we got a venue that did professional filming and stuff, and so we cut it all together and put out a cool little DVD situation, and we sell them on our website, and then certain promotional deals and stuff will get you a signed one. And so we're doing a big batch of signed ones today from people that bought into the merch tier.
I think some people that had just bought
and then some people that had just purchased a signed copy as well. So we're handling all that up today. And if these have been late for anybody waiting on one, I'm the one to blame. They've been sitting in a corner of my house, semi-forgotten about, for about 2 weeks. Ooh, look at Scotty's very colorful signature here. And that took fucking forever to dry. I'm just going to let you know. So, having done a bunch of these.
Very gentle pressure.
Yeah. A little bit goes a long way. Do you think we'll have access to the digital version on Patreon within the year? I wouldn't see why not.
That'd be something you can bring up with them tomorrow before the show.
Yeah, I mean, it was always our intention eventually, but I don't know how it'll work. But yeah, it's definitely something I can ask the guys about.
If you end up finishing them all today, I can drop them off tomorrow.
That's my goal. I don't know how close I'll get to that goal, but I'm going to try. You know, we're going to sit out here and bullshit and sign stuff until we get it done. So, I'm sure that there's already, like, somebody has ripped one of these Blu-rays and put it out there, but yeah, you're right about that, though. I mean, it's something that we should capitalize on.
Not everyone's got a thing that'll play a Blu-ray.
True. I mean, and these are more. I doubt most of the people got these for the Blu-ray. They probably just kind of got them as. It's kind of like it's cool fan merch or whatever, and they're fun to sign, and we try and make them a little fun. But I've done a ton of these, so it's actually really shocking how many of our fans opt in on these little things, because it's pretty nuts.
Help.
Nope. Cool.
These pens are a good deal, because I don't think this is a new set from the last time you got them, so.
It definitely is not. It definitely is not. There's a Senior Tomat one done. Senior Tomat edition. I think it's. I'm starting to feel like maybe not this one, but the next one needs a dick. This one didn't feel like it wanted a dick, but this next one, coming out of the box, has a banana been drawn on TJ yet? Banana boy, the pipes are calling. I don't know how good I'm gonna draw a banana. I mean, that's good
Do you
enough.
have a brown?
No. I don't have a brown. But I think it, it's banana shaped. And it's, it's even looks like it's got a little bit of the banana bruising on it. So it's getting better as I go. And I think we go, oh, 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 oh.
What's the deep mean? What if you put a little red on it?
Like he busted open his asshole with it? I think we're good. Look at the banana of justice. All right, well, we'll leave this to flap around for a minute and get dry. All right, let's keep going. Sometimes I like to draw a halo upon my own head to remind people that I'm God.
Where'd Scotty sign that one?
I don't know. Oh, on the back. It's another back, Scotty. There you go. Oh, yeah, you draw a halo on your own head to remind people that you are the virtuous one. You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to get a little like. Yeah. A little devilly. How do you do this? There. Did you bring gold, frankincense, or myrrh? Probably myrrh, because I think it's just like cheaper than shit. I'm not bringing gold. I'll bring the myrrh.
I don't know, maybe it was worth more than gold back in the day.
Back in the day, maybe, but. I'll bring the myrrh. I got the myrrh.
Reducing pain and killing bacteria, so you're bringing the medicine.
Cool. Yeah, I got the myrrh. I'll handle the. Well, no, incense is expensive back in the day. I know that shit. Eleanor Rigby, blah, 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 blah. Get that double myrrh. Oh. All right. I did a banana, and that staved off the dick. But not on this one, it didn't. This one needs a big, veiny, triumphant dick. Right. A big one. I'm going to go extra big on this one, you know what I'm talking about? I want to make this one droop. How do I do that? Because I don't want it sticking out. I want like a front profile shot, so I believe like I got to go like this. I got to go like that. And then I got to do like balls behind it, so I got to kind of like go and then do the same thing over here. Yeah.
Oh, looks like an elephant nose.
It kind of does kind of look like an elephant nose. But I think they'll get it. Let me just complete the balls here. It looks even worse now. Awesome. That's the worst dick I ever drew in my life, man. It's gotta be the blue ribbon baby right there. That doesn't even look like a penis. It's like I never. It's like
the balls are wider than
I know, dude. What happened to this? What happened to this fucking cock? I don't know. Everything's clean shaven around here, okay? Because I don't have a brown pen. All right. There's nothing I can do for you on that front. All right, this one's good. And the nanner still needs to dry for a minute. So we'll leave him out. Yeah, one of those balls is straight up blown out. One of those balls had a...
That's testicular cancer.
Yeah, you might want to go get that looked at, homie. That's not the way that the balls are supposed to be. But...
We're about halfway through this box.
Yeah, I'm not doing too bad. I'm making some progress. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do, man? Yeah, they give it to me last to do. I'm putting a bunch of dicks on these. Can't do too many though. The golden cock has to be coveted. There can only be a few of them.
I promise it didn't slip his mind out of intention. It was just stoner mind slipping.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So true. Speaking of, smoke break.
You know we did that thing too where like, we're gonna do it today.
Yeah.
And we forgot about it for a day.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's horrible. It's found out that printer ink is the most expensive liquid by weight, by far. What about Aqua Regia? Aqua Regia is gold diluted down into acid that you can pull back out by adding certain reagents or whatever, and it'll solidify back into gold. I bet Aqua Regia probably caught, but I don't know if it's even legal to sell. But yeah, that's a crazy one. I watched this dude on YouTube called Sri Tips, and he does these videos where he buys scrap gold and melts it, like takes it, kind of shitty gold, and pulls it out and refines it to make what's called 3/9 fine gold. It's 0.999. That's like the purity standard for 100% pure gold. So he'll take all this crappy like 10-carat jewelry and, you know, like grandma's old rings and this, that, and the other. And he buys a bunch of parcels of this crap, and then he strips the gold out of it, and it's neat. It's neat.
I see. So it's actually used to refine other golds.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bunch of golds that is diluted into acid that is used to help remove, like other gold is introduced to the aqua regia, and it removes impurities from the gold. And then when you, I can't remember what it is that you add to it to bring it out, but when you've done that, you've left behind in what was the aqua regia a bunch of impurities, and you've solidified it down to some gold. It's like gold powder is how it comes out. It's like literally super fine gold powder. It's a really neat thing. It's like a really neat process to watch. You should check out that Sree Tips dude. SREE Tips is, I think, how it goes. I've been watching him for years. And your 10th watch of Dank D&D. That's a lot of Dank D&D, brother. That's a whole lot of Dank D&D, bro. It just really, like, resonated with some people, but not most people. Are you coming out? Okay, continuing. Go. An imprint of Dinor's paw on one of the Blu-rays. I don't really know how I would pull that off.
His paws are floofy right now, too. You're not going to get much of a footprint. It's just going to be floof.
Yeah. Where's my red? TJ made me mad with this one, so he's getting... Gotta be quick. Oh, that looks great. That one came out good. Yeah, TJ drew my ire. He's out there Xing out me and Scotty's faces and circling his own. I'm gonna sign on this one as well. Okay. Let this dry. I'm sure. Let's see. Is the deformed nut golden cock dry yet? It is not. Is the banana dry? It is. Congratulations, banana. You're dry.
Did you do an actual signature on this one?
The what? The nanner?
Yeah. Or did you just do a nana and then not sign it?
Oh. Did I just do a nanner? Oh, yeah, I got distracted. Thanks for catching that. Yeah. I might want to actually sign it. I just got so caught up in the creative process.
Make sure you actually sign the dick one, too.
I did.
I'm doing some quality control here.
Yeah, you're trying. I mean, this is a fucked up operation you're trying to oversee. The man operating the machinery and producing the product is getting stoned. So, you know what I mean? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Amelia's the brains of the operation. Yeah, she's the brains, the heart, the soul. I'm just like the smegma of the operation.
No. You do way more than I do.
We partners, baby. We partners. Oh. If I get a DVD, can you sign it as Pete? You know, there's no way for me to know which one of these you will get if you are waiting on a DVD. You will get one of these. I just don't know which.
They are not individually labeled.
No, we have not really figured out a mechanism by which we could easily do that yet. Although it would be kind of cool thing to do. I don't deny that.
I think the problem is like individually labeling them. You'd have to like put a sticker on it or something, and then that takes up room if you have like a little name sticker.
Yeah. I am gonna deface TJ's photo in this one as well. No, I won't. I've decided to hold back on that impulse. I was gonna write 311 on there, but that's really Scotty's job.
Yeah.
Scotty, I can't take the place of Scotty and scribbling 311. I wonder if they drew a dent on you in one of them. They better not have. Because I'll tell you right now, I will draw something else on them as well. Yes. Boobs. That's puerile.
Shit. Down to the nitty gritty now.
What is going on here?
What?
All of us are dead? Oh, this is Scotty's. Okay. All right, Scotty. I see what's up. I see what's going on here. Let's see. What can I do to deface Scotty? You know what? Maybe it is time for that 311. I think it might be time for that 311. There. How about that?
Did you do your signature too?
That's a good point. I got to do that. Yep. Scotty got 311. All right. Is the Frankenwiener done yet? It is. Frankenwiener dried. 311 can join that over there for the drying process. Cool. Whoa, what is that? Did he try and put a cock on me or something? You see that?
Where?
There's a smooch. You see that?
Oh.
What he did? It's almost like he was doing something over here on me. And then he aborted it.
But it was too late.
Yeah, it was too late. Some proof remained.
Scotty's on the back of that one too.
Yep. He sure enough did. Okay, I'm getting down to the nitty gritty on this box. Oh, sorry. Oh. TJ put a halo on me in this one. You see that? Look. He got the devil horns, of course, and I got he just went ahead and did the angel's halo for me. Neat.
Give him a halo.
Yeah, I'll give him a halo back. Very good for you, TJ. I'll give you
what about an upside down cross on his forehead?
Oh, yeah, I could do that. I need a red, though. Give him the upside down cross treatment. Give him some big old titties. I mean, he already has big old titties. Like, how am I supposed to... Like, bigger than the real ones. Oh, I see what you mean. I see. Well, he kind of, like, removed my ability to do that on most of these, but I could deface him in some way. Trying to think of a way that would make him look lame. Because I was like, oh, I'll put sunglasses on him. And then I'm like, no, sunglasses are cool. I'll put a Joker smile on him. No, that's cool too.
What about like a little antenna?
Oh yeah, I'll make him like an insect or something. Take me to your leader. Toodly doo. Okay. All right. Is this the last of this box? It is. All right. The last one in the box has to get a Tomat, I think. The final one in this box needs a Tomat. So we're gonna make a Senior Tomat on this one. And we will, oh wait, nope. TJ said live for spaghetti already. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. There's no room for the Tomat signature, the Tomignature. How's this going? 311 is...
I'm gonna start putting these back in.
Yeah, sure. Stack them back up. And we got one more box. Caked up Tomat. We need to get an artist that'll draw us a good Tomat with big, bountiful booty cheeks. Because I agree with you. Tomat with cake is real. Okay. I did it very childishly, and so it was thick. And Scotty's 311 is still yet to dry, so we'll just hold on to this one for a sec. Take a little break, smoke a little dank, get down tonight. Get down tonight. Okay.
Where's that one going to fit? It looks like it's already full, but I guess it's tilted.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could probably fit it in like that, right? Oh, did I just fuck up the 311? No, it's fine. It's dry. Okay, we're good.
Yep.
So that's one box done.
Yep.
Dope.
Box number 2 now, or do you want to wait?
If you want to bring it out here, yeah. I mean, I may take a little break, but I'll finish it up tonight. That was pretty quick. That was pretty simple. What is TJ's obsession with Sketty? I mean, well, like, it's fucking amazing. I love Sketty. I may not have the same level of obsession as TJ. Like, I think I'm more of a pizza guy, personally. But Sketty, dude, I'm always down for some Sketty. I'm always happy to receive a Sketty. I'm always happy to have a Sketty. Ooh, oh yeah.
This one's not even all the way full.
Okay, cool. Well, that'll make it quick then. That'll make it easy then. Yeah, I think like a lady Tomat with big toe milkers. We could get a lady Tomat with big toe milkers. Senora Tomatussi. And then we could get, a big bountiful booty Tomat. I kind of see him like looking over his shoulder, and then he's just cake, you know what I mean? And he's kind of blushing a little bit. He's like, you know what I mean? And he's cake. Yeah. Yeah, giving an ooh-woo over his shoulder. You know what I mean? And then just shiny, huge, bountiful red butt cheeks. If I drew something real quick and threw it up on the server, you think, no, dude. Well, trust me. Did you see how that dick with the wonky nut turned out, bro? I am not at all artistically gifted, okay, dude? I can barely draw a stick figure. I can barely draw, like, devil horns on somebody and make it look not goofy. You know what I mean? I can't do nothing. I literally can't draw. Yeah, I do my best on these, man. I have zero artistic talent in that way. I'm good with colors and stuff, but as far as like drawing and all of that, I'm not. I really can't. I really can't do that. That's what AI art is for. Nah, I feel like this one needs the human touch. AI art isn't there yet. You know what I mean? I don't think we could get a senior Tomat that was correct. Caked up Tomat. The guy that made him care at all, did you have to pay him? He's changed enough from, like, if you go back and find the original Tomat, he's changed super significantly from the original drawing or whatever the fuck. Like, we had him, given different facial expressions, changed his body proportions and stuff. And as far as I know, like, Senior Tomat isn't copyrighted or whatever the fuck. At least not as that. Like, we've kind of taken the original design and ran with our own thing with it. But yeah, no. As far as I know.
One thing I didn't think of is we don't have packing tape.
Well, if you take them in like this, they'll just tape them up for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
We have bubble wrap still, too. I think that would help. Since it's only 3 boxes in a box, it doesn't go...
Oh, I don't think it'll hurt nothing. Have you seen a full gift library of what? I don't know what you're talking about. It was a stock design, was it not? I have no idea. Like, Tomat was literally a GIF that TJ pulled off of the internet back in, like, it probably would have been 2016 or 2017 or some shit like that. And I made up a whole Hispanic character, and then he gained lore on the show. I don't know. The etymology is very strange. You've gone full squinty high, and I'm here for it. Oh, yeah. No. I'm officially stoned. Yeah. Which is good, because... Yeah, that was back in the grease trap days, huh? I'll get myself a little drink.
I'm glad I found those paint pens.
Me too. All right. Well, let's get this little box done. I feel like writing a Bible verse on the inside of this one. The first shall be last, and the last first. Let that dry real well. Maybe one of them should get signed by Kid Rock. I don't want to do that to somebody, bro. They want my signature. I could sign it as myself and then do a Kid Rock signature, but I'm not leaning into it. I refuse. I'm surprised none of these are defaced with Kid Rock over me yet. Yet. I say yet because I still have a box to go through here. Oh, shit.
What? What's wrong?
Scotty signed this one. Hollywood. Scotty's moniker signed one. What's wrong, baby?
Nothing.
Okay. Resting concern. You please yell at Scotty about how we never get you wrong anymore. It wouldn't help. I can do it if you want me to, but it ain't gonna help you none.
I think you've all kind of struggled with trying to figure out what to do.
Well, I mean, if you look at a lot of those things, I mean,
they weren't super duper popular.
No, it was a very
do, like collaborative live streams with only a few people.
Yeah, it's just, if people don't, it's just hard to do these exclusive live events for our patrons because we got tons of people, but they're all over the world and
I got jobs,
I got families, I got other shit going on, and getting, enough people to show up to one of these live events to make it worth doing is just kind of hard. So. What? Like, I think the last time I did a ideology on the channel, there might have been like 4 people in there. Mm-hmm. And 3 of them were chatting, It gets pretty fucking woe-begotten. Doesn't feel good as a performer to sit in front of 0 people. So. Not to mention the cost. Cost isn't all that much. Free time or whatever. Like, the time invested is not really the point. Mm-hmm. Like, if a bunch of people showed up, I wouldn't really care, But it never, not even once, worked out that way. So these exclusive live stream type of ideas.
Give them like 6 hours notice sometimes.
Oh yeah, I mean we've given like days notice on them before. Just nobody comes. It's like one of them things. So Yeah, we found that, sticking to the more pre-recorded group content type of stuff, those things always get picked up on, no matter what. The patrons are watching those. They're reacting to those. They have feedback on those. You know what I mean? It's like when we're just doing these kinds of casual live streams, making those exclusive, people just aren't interested. So, you live, you learn content-wise. But I will tell you this, for those of you that are feeling a little hard done by because you feel like we're not doing that kind of personal stuff anymore, there will be, I can't give you dates on it, but there will be some content coming that is not usual content for what you've expected. Cinema for Cynics is on its way back. I'm just going to say it. It might take a while to get it ramped up and get it all fucking figured out, but that is going to be a part of the exclusivity of that Pessimist Productions Patreon. Is, Cinema for Cynics will be a Pessimist production, which means that patrons should get some, some kind of exclusive from that bent, and I've got a few ideas about it. Well, I mean, you got to understand, though. It's like live stuff is great, but when you're talking about a smaller group of people, all of which, I mean, obviously, most of the people, I think, if not all of the people that are members of our Patreon or people that are, like, making money for themselves, that means they have jobs. That means they probably have families and boyfriends and girlfriends and wives and husbands and kids and parents. And they, you know what I mean? It's just like getting somebody to show up for a live stream where it's, it's just going to be me talking and talking to the chat on a moment's notice out of that small group. It just doesn't work. It ends up creating content that's not all that fun for people to come back and watch later because I'm interacting with a small, tiny subset of people, Girlfriend's been paying my $10 patronage for 7 years now. Damn. Well, yeah, you got yourself a keeper then, Johnny. Well, I love talking movies, and I've really, this last year, kind of, especially, I think, or towards the beginning of this year, maybe would be a better way to put it. I've really kind of done a dive back into trying to see more movies in the theater, and then trying to keep up to date on these movies that have buzz around them and stuff like that. And me and Amelia have seen most of the Oscar contenders.
I still haven't seen Amelia Perez.
I haven't seen Amelia Perez, and we haven't seen The Brutalist. I think those are the two we have not seen. And we haven't seen Wicked.
Well, I saw Wicked.
You saw Wicked, yeah. I just pass on Wicked.
I saw Wicked.
Wicked is one of those things, like, I saw the show live. It was absolutely fucking spectacular as a live Broadway musical kind of experience. And I just can't imagine that the movie does it any justice. So, in my defense, I make really good food. Oh, that's worth its weight in gold. No joke. You got dragged to Wicked, yeah. Well, I don't know.
You hate the CGI animals, and it's got some of that.
I'm usually like, well, see, think about it though. The bison in The Revenant and the bear in The Revenant, both CGI animals, but it was done in such a way that, like, the CGI-ness of them was obscured by something in reality. So it's like the bison were kind of like had the dust that they were kicking up.
Yeah.
The bear, it was so frenetic that you
Yeah.
never really got a full picture of what it was. It was just claws and hair and teeth, you know. And so it's artfully, when it's artfully done, and when I say artfully done, I mean integrated in such a way as to create an eye deceiving effect, even if it doesn't work.
Well, like with that bear too, like I thought they put a lot of effort into like the close-ups of it sniffing him and stuff.
They did. They were able to put a lot more detail into those close-ups, but you know, I'm sure if you went frame by frame and
Yeah.
looked at the whole bear scene, you'd find some fuckery in there. But there was some real art done to make that, even though it was CG, to make that feel real and visceral, and to make not just, you know, Leo's performance of it, but the bear as well was a big part of that, right? And same thing with, like, you know, the bison, when he runs up on the bison. There's a number of moments in that movie where there's like heavy CGI usage, but there was an artful inclusion of it into the. It's shit like Jack Black riding on a green screen on a jetpack, you know, carrying a chicken jockey or whatever. It's like, I can't. To me, I would so much rather see that done practically, if you're going to do it at all, as much as possible, and augmented by CGI when it's just slop. And because I swear to God, I've developed this thing now with certain movies, and it will turn me off of watching the film. I start to be able to see what the actors are seeing.
Yeah.
I imagine them standing on a big empty blue stage reacting to the midair. And as soon as that is done too much in a film, I'm done. Like, if it's 20 minutes of people running around in morph suits in front of a blue screen, it's like I can see it. Actually, they just let an actual bear maul Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, damn, I didn't know that. That's commitment. All right. It ends, and they're like, Leo, one more, man. One more. That was great. That's a good warm up. One more. Yeah. Amelia was kind of remarking on how kind of unbelievable that movie is, and it being based on a true story and all. It's hard to tell how much poetic license was taken, you know. But damn, if it's not, you know, like it's just like, it's one of those movies that I just think the premise of it is so fucking insane.
I think we still have like 40 minutes of it or something.
Yeah, we've almost finished it.
Yeah.
Well, there was a bunch of CG in the first Jurassic Park. A bunch. But it was augmented with these crazy full-size, life-scale ambulatory puppets that they made of different animals, right? And they used CG when they couldn't use the robot. You see what I mean? And so there was an artful blending of the CG into it. That's why it still holds up so well today, because so much of it isn't CG, right? And what is CG is used sparsely and tastefully, and it looks really great. Like, there's a scene where Lex and Tim and Dr. Grant are running from a herd of Gallimimus that's, you know, stampeding. And that's probably the worst looking CG in the movie, I would say, by a long shot. And it still looks better than anything that you'll see in the Minecraft movie as far as like believability or artful presentation. It's just, everything is video game like, it's like the whole Minecraft movie got leaked, and I was scamming through it last night a little bit. I refused to watch it, but I was just like, I wanted to find a scene in it that didn't feel like an over-the-top Nintendo cutscene. And there's not one. It's literally just video game cutscene, the movie. I don't even understand, bro. Sonic and Mario are at least watchable. I haven't seen those either. Like, on some level, and this is just me, and I think you guys will go through the same thing, and you'll have to make the same choices. I realize that they're farming my generation right now for nostalgia, right? They are just trying to get me to go and pay to see all my childhood shit ruined, right? And so, like, this Snow White that came out, like, I'm not trying to act like Snow White was literally my favorite thing, but I watched all those Disney movies when I was a kid. I loved them. I love Snow White. It's a great fucking animated film. I refuse. I refuse to go see that shit. You know what I mean? I'm at that point where I'm starting to feel crotchety, and I'm like, look, I feel myself being farmed for content, farmed for nostalgia points, and I'm like, every time I've dipped my toe in and indulged, is like the Transformers franchise. Bro, I was probably one of the biggest Transformers kids in the world, bro. I loved them. My whole generation of kids loved Transformers. And it's like, they're making those movies ostensibly for me, because kids ain't going around going anymore, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not a thing. So it's like they're making those movies for me, and those movies just feel like a big fucking, slap in the face, if anything. So, fuck it, Would having real actors for the dwarves have changed your opinion at all? Maybe somewhat, yeah. But then just absolute garbage tier CG. Gal Gadot. I was really, honestly, pretty fucking impressed with Gal Gadot when she first came out as Wonder Woman. That first Wonder Woman movie, I remember going to see that begrudgingly because I wanted to make a shitty review of it on Cinema for Cynics. I was really on a mission for a while there to try and poop on some of these like superhero movies. And when I dipped my toe back into it, I actually found more. I really liked that one. I liked the that one, and I liked one of the Spider-Man ones that I went and saw. So it definitely wasn't all garbage. But yeah, I thought she was really good there, but I am sick of her now. I don't even want to look at her face anymore. She is just like, it worked, I guess, for Wonder Woman, but she is just so blank. There's just nothing there. She's very passionless and very one note. So I don't really care to see her anymore. Yeah, I mean, Johnny, you're giving a little bit too much leverage, or at least in my opinion. It's your choice. You do what you want, but dude, I wouldn't care if she was the most rabid Zionist on the fucking planet. If she was a great actress, I'd sit and watch it. You know what I mean? I'm an art from artist type of guy. Like, I am totally down to watch somebody who is completely abhorrent to me politically make some art. I'm cool with that. But she's not. You're right. She's not. She doesn't rise to that level, so fuck her, right? All right, let's get some more done. I feel like I need to do a Tomat. I'm feeling a Tomat. There needs to be a Tomat on this one. Unless TJ defaced it. No, he did not. Huh? Hold it in the light and see if it's like wet. Can you see it wet shining anywhere? Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's very.
You've been yakking for a few minutes.
Yeah, I took a little break.
Yeah.
I'm doing it at a leisurely pace. I think I'll do these like this from now on. Because it is nicer than just trying to like. Instead of looking at it like constantly just looking at the task, just kind of like hang out and do it a little bit at a time. I couldn't get through first 20 minutes of the Wonder Woman movie. It must have gotten better because, yeah, I mean, it wasn't like bowl me over the greatest that that I ever saw or anything, but I liked it way more than I was expecting to like it walking into it as a person that by that point was pretty much done with the superhero shit. Like, so yeah, I don't know, man. Get over there, you. Okay. Go to the drawing table for a bit. Having Saturday and Sunday off is really weird, by the way. Yeah, I don't think I ever worked well, I guess my last job at the school district, like while school was in session, we did not even really. I've never really had a job of any significance that guaranteed the weekends or whatever the fuck. Never had one of those business type jobs, you know, where the place is closed on the weekends or whatever. Weekends were pretty important at the school district because it was hard to get big projects done when there were kids and teachers poking around. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate the stigma of joblessness? 10. Straight 10. I think the idea that we've somehow attached a human being's worth to whether or not they're being exploited for their labor is just an indictment of the system as it exists.
Got distracted by the Revenant shit. It's probably pretty apocryphal.
Yeah. Well, I choose to believe. Still real to me. No. I imagine. So anything like that.
I love crushing your dreams without.
You are a dream smusher. You really are.
Like the fucking lean on me.
Yeah. Like, that guy's a nightmare. I was like, no, he isn't. He saved that skull. No, he didn't really.
What other ones have I ruined for you?
To a certain extent, you ruined like reality shows for me because you started pointing out how scripted they are. And I was like, oh shit, she's right. You know, I never really thought about it much. I knew they did some of that, and sometimes it's obvious, but you were pointing out some ones that I probably wouldn't have noticed otherwise. And now I'm way more in tune with it. Thanks to you.
Well, you did it.
I did it. Boop, boop, boop.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, wasn't too bad. Those are done. Send them back to the boyos.
Way easier than the last time where it was like 2 full boxes.
Yeah, these are good. Yeah, 2 big, like, well, you're talking about like 8 of these. Yeah, that was crazy.
I was thinking put something in the middle.
They had them like
they were just
books instead, and they can just flop over or whatever. That'll be fine. Yeah, just spread them out as best you can. But yeah, cool. I'll just get those sent back to the Scottmeister tomorrow. I'll get my pens put away so I don't lose them. These are still good. Every last one of them still good. Still kicking. I'm a fan of these pink pens. I like them. That was both boxes. We're good. We're good to go. That wasn't bad at all. What nuance would you add to that conversation in the context of the philosophy of employment? Well, that it's not an excuse to send others out and have them do employment for you if you're able-bodied. Like, just because I don't agree with the system as it stands, and because I don't judge joblessness on the face of it, there's a difference between joblessness and complete intransigence when it comes to work, right? And so I've always, put a dividing line between that. But ultimately, one of the things that I struggle with when it comes to labor advocacy is ultimately I would like all these fucking jobs to go away. I would like the entire concept of a job to be an archaic human construct. And I really don't know what that means for the labor space in the long term. I think it's super important now because those are the rules of the game now, right? And that's kind of the nuance that I would add on the employment stuff. I don't think a human being is their job, right? But that doesn't mean that you get to exist at the expense of everybody else when you are able-bodied, right? And so there's a line there, right? So, it's one of them things. Once again, like the idea, like people get all worked up about, rants that I'll go on about NEETs. NEET means not in education, employment, or training. It means you're literally doing nothing to support yourself. You're not trying, you're not bettering yourself. A NEET, by definition, is a person who's kind of sitting around doing absolutely nothing in their household, just kind of profiting endlessly from the labor of other people, right? And doing nothing to help out. Now, if you're a person who has worked out, like, oh, I'm a stay-at-home mom or whatever, you're that's not a NEET, okay? I'm a full-time caretaker of one of my parents or something. It's not a NEET, right?
People misunderstand that you have a broad definition of labor. It's not like you're saying labor is only putting in a 9 to 5, punching in, punching out.
No, absolutely not. Especially now. You can better yourself without being in education, employment, or training. I feel the need to emphasize that. How? Now, I would say that broadly, education doesn't necessarily mean you went to college. Education can mean that you are educating yourself, right? But the idea of NEET, that acronym is to the end of employment, right? That's what it's looking towards. Like, what are you doing to seek employment? Like NEET is just an acronym to cover the things that people can do to secure employment, right? And in this economy, most adult people need to do this, right? Whether they're fucked up or not, whether they don't want to or not, and there are many, many ways to contribute to that. But what is your work? If the answer is nothing, right? And that means nothing. If you can't name anything that's work.
Yeah, even with stuff around the home, those are all things that you could, conceivably hire someone else to do.
Sure.
Like if you do all the cooking and cleaning, that's something that you would hire someone to do.
Right, yeah. Well, you would have to. Yeah, it's that, right. The Dalai Lama doesn't have a job. I mean...
Public figure speaking.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a number of jobs.
I'm sure he has to fucking...
Media appearances, writing, reading, interpersonal communication skills.
Probably some management.
He works.
Stuff. Yeah.
Trust me, he works. He's a public figure. He's a religious figurehead. That's a job.
You know that Pope? He's back to meetings already, even though he almost died 3 times in the hospital. He's still working.
Yeah. And just like, I don't know how you, like, so going back to what Johnny said, he said you can improve yourself without being in education, employment, or training. So, what do you mean by improve yourself? Right? What do you mean by improve yourself? I think that we need to, like, define that. I mean, learn empathy. Well, that's empathy doesn't put meat in your mouth. Nobody's empathy put meat in your mouth. Nobody's empathy keeps the lights on at the house. Nobody, you know what I mean? Like, you have to, and look, I'm not saying that I enjoy it being that way. Like, ultimately, I just got done telling you, I hope nobody has to have a job in the far future or the medium term future. I hope we reach a point where human beings are finally unyoked from this, like, forced manual labor contract, and we can get rid of this kind of hierarchical society and have something that makes a little bit more sense. But until then, right, that's a hope. That's a dream. That doesn't mean you can start living that now. Because somebody has to subsidize it now, right? What? Nobody's empathy put meat in my mouth? You've been fed by caring people for free many times, and I've paid it forward. But hold up, dude. Wait a minute. Somebody paid for that food that was fed to you, right? Somebody worked. Somebody went to their job that they hate and milled the grain for the bread that was on the sandwich that they gave you. It didn't appear out of the empathy of their heart. It's not like the Care Bear stare, where they just care hard enough that meat and potatoes ended up in your belly. That's not how it works, bro. So we call that, there's a term for that. It's called living hand to mouth, right? And that can mean even with a job, but you're talking about the literal hand to mouth, right? They have enough money to purchase that, yes. And then somebody had enough money to make it. And somebody made that money making it, right? So you got this whole kind of misunderstanding about what we're talking about here. And look, dude, if you're disabled, I'm not talking to you, right? You don't have to go out and bust your ass if you're disabled. But if you're able-bodied, and I think that is most people, and able-minded, I think that is also most people, I think there's a duty for you to do something to support your living situation. If it's not a job,
or supporting who's supporting you.
Right.
Like, people forget what, like, NEAT is, like, what it started from. They're talking about the guy that's just rotting in his mom's basement playing video games all
By the
day.
way, the statistics on that are so up.
Yeah.
We're talking like adult males and adult females who are in their 30s, living at home, have no job, aren't in education, aren't in training, and probably couldn't give you a cohesive answer about what their plan is. Their plan is to just surf on mom and dad's income until they croak, and then question mark. I don't know. That's a need, right? And I don't think you get to, like, pretend to be a labor revolutionary when you refuse to even engage in the labor space. You know?
People just overthought this so much and tried to apply your stroke so far.
No, I know.
It's like,
well, here's the truth of it.
Yeah.
When I talk about needs, right? Even if you're not the fat basement dwelling dude from, the meme, there are people that feel indicted by it because in some way they're not doing everything that they could, or whatever the case is. I genuinely believe that. People feel like a big finger pointing at them sometimes when I'm talking like very specifically, but broadly about a chunk of people, right?
Well, like, I think
NEAT is supposed to be specific, right?
If you're in a position where, you can't, or you're supporting in non-traditional ways that you don't explicitly say, you should already have the self-confidence to know that that's your place in the world.
Yes. Right.
Like, I'm sure the average, like, stay-at-home mom, some people say that they're not working, even though they are.
Yeah.
Like, they know in their heart that that's what they are.
Yeah.
Most of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna take it personal because they.
Yeah. And it's not just like I'll say something here too. It is not just about pulling your weight. It really isn't. A human being is not meant to be a thing that is kept. And when human beings live like that, I mean, you can see the psychological impact it has on like Nepo babies, for example. That's a human being that is kept forever, right? They never have to do what the human mind is designed to do, strive and plan and ponder, right? And there's a certain part of the human experience that gets stripped away when a human being is kept. And when that kept human being, right, can start to create a mythology around their existence. And it doesn't make sense to working people at all. It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So largely, you know, if you looked at the broader context of me talking about needs, I was talking about how the left in general needs to clean up its act if we want to start talking to laborers genuinely across the spectrum, right? Because there is no such thing as a left-wing only union, right? The unions are agnostic to your fucking political leanings. They're workers' organizations.
Well, like, fucking, even the UAW was, like, talking in favor of some of Trump's tariffs. Like,
sure.
It doesn't, union goals don't always neatly fit into one party
or
the other.
That's part of the problem here, is that we have become, so the stock market has exploded over the last 20 years.
Yeah. Like,
but that
if you
has,
look at how much it went down in 2008 versus how much it's gone down just in the last month, it looks like,
right.
You know, if the stock market was where it was in 2008, it would just, there'd be no stock market.
Yeah, it would be catastrophe. So it's insane, right? The amount of insane, I believe, unnatural growth, speculative inflation, yeah. And so it is so, it's so insanely huge that I can't even remember what I was going to say because I got locked up trying to find a word. What were we talking about?
You're talking about
unions
and then the stock market.
Yeah. Right. Trying to talk to people, but you have no skin in the game. It's just not going to work. And that's, to me, that's where we need to be talking to people, is in that labor space and from that labor perspective. And you're not going to do that. But people don't understand that the well-being of American workers has been decoupled from the stock market for a long time. Making all of your decisions based on what's good for the markets is not always the best thing. And I'm not praising the Trump shit, but I'm just saying, like,
parts of, like, the little itty bits of, like, maybe there needs to be more tariffs on some things.
I'm such not a fucking economist. Yeah. But I will tell you this. If I were in a trade union and my union president told me to get behind a tariff, I'd be fucking behind it. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't matter if everybody on the fucking news was screaming about how bad it would be for the economy. Mm-hmm. I'd be all up in it because I don't care. See, that's the thing that people don't realize about labor, and it's broader than labor. Mm-hmm. The reason that my labor, like I talk labor, but I want people to apply this broadly, right? The well-being of human beings is tantamount. The well-being of your family is tantamount, and it's been impinged now. You've reached a point now where the system is failing to meet the needs of people more and more as time goes by.
Well, like, it's almost like become like the argument they use against communism, like everyone working for the collective. That's what workers have become. They're working towards the collective good of the economy rather than their individual wealth.
But that collective good of the economy is controlled by like what, 100 people?
Yeah, but like that's what it's turned into.
Right.
It's like it's socialized.
It's backwards communism.
Yeah.
It's working for the private good.
Yeah.
Instead of the collective good. And people will demonize the fuck out of people working with their own hands to support themselves and their family and everyone else besides. And everybody putting in like that. They'll demonize that as an idea. But excoriate the idea of basically working in the mines for JP Morgan for the rest of your fucking life. Why? I don't know.
You hear economists talk, and it's like when inflation was real bad under Biden, they're like, the only way to fix this would be if 10% of the people were unemployed. It's like,
It's like,
I think we can figure out a better solution than a bunch of people fucking being hard done by.
yeah. Dude, Twitter has been, like, if you like watching right-wing cope and like, face planting and shit, Twitter has been a gold mine lately because it has been, like, super silent on the markets, except for when the markets open and there's a big jump. It's like today, tons of these, like, big right-wing Twitter people posted these celebratory memes about how the stock market came back and it's Pepe the Frog celebrating and it's all green again. And then like an hour later, it went right back in the toilet. You know what I mean? And it's just like the cope that's happening. You're actually watching people in real time struggling to make their fantasy world fit with the facts. And I think it's been a long time coming. If there's anything positive about these Trump weird tariff moves that he's doing, it's that it might be the thing that gets people to fucking like wake up and realize there's fuckery afoot. Because it's gotta suck going out there and cheering and then watching your dreams get crushed every day. You know what I mean? You're gonna eventually, it's gonna hit home that you're fucked too.
Yeah, and like the whole movement a few years ago of like, oh, we're going to take control of the stock market with GameStop and shit like that.
Yeah.
The thing is, they don't have the resources to absorb the losses as individuals that these big investment firms do.
No, they don't.
So like a lot of people fucking ended up eating shit because they wanted to follow the meme.
Right. And the system is almost completely and utterly designed against small investors.
Yeah.
It is a game, if it's rigged at all, it's a casino game for everybody, no matter who the player is, unless you've got insider information, unless you know the casino manager and he's telling you what the cards are going to be, which happens a lot, by the way. But let's just assume that you're playing the stock game as an individual small investor, right? The system as it exists is so biased towards large conglomerate investors that are investing 6 figures, 7 figures of money.
I'm sure that like a lot of them probably hedge their bets. They'll get shorts and.
Well, that's what these investment firms do.
Yeah.
These investment firms are basically a dude that's an economist, and he sells to these rich people. I know how to fucking ride this market wave. I'm going to double you up.
Yeah.
And these rich people go like, all right. And they raise amongst them $30 million worth of capital, and they bestow it on this person with the guardianship of they all participate based on what they all profit based on what they put in. And then this one guy or one team of people moves that money around in the market in huge chunks.
But the thing is, they're moving it around constantly.
Yeah.
But an individual can't do that.
Well, an individual can do that, but the amount of money that they're moving means that the transaction, the actual benefit from these microtransactions is almost zero.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're in a hedge fund and you're moving $30 million into a 1% yield thing, that makes money over You know what I mean? 1% on $30 million is way more than 1% on $30 or $30,000 even for a small investor, right? And so the game is so heavily weighted against people that already have investment capital that people need to decouple their minds, and I think that this is going to help that. I think that losing a bunch of money in the stock market will remind people that it's not a poor man's game. And maybe it'll cause people to demand some fucking change in it.
Well, like, the whole concept of 401ks was basically just a cop-out to excuse diminishing pensions. It was like, oh, look, we don't have to offer a pension if we offer a 401k.
Right.
But the thing is, you know, we decide what we're going to put the 401k into, and we're going to make it optional. So it's your fault if you can't retire.
Right. It was just a way of decoupling the company from responsibility for you after you became unable to work or retired.
Now they know the average like person in their early adulthood is probably like, fuck putting money into my 401k, I want it now.
Right. Well, that's what a lot of people end up doing. Yeah. Or they end up, you know, putting in a bunch when they're young and then raiding it in their 40s because, oh, fuck it, I need it now. Yeah. I want to do something now. You know what I mean? So
whereas
it's just
pension was like, you couldn't.
Yeah, you can't touch it. You don't get to touch that until you're a certain age, and then you draw against it monthly. That's it. It's actually a retirement plan versus 401k, which is just like, why put your money away where you know it'll be when you need it? Put it in the market and make 10x on it. And it's like, some people do that. But when the stock market crashes like it has over the last couple of weeks, people lose their whole fucking shit. 20, 30, 40% of their investment just evaporates. And sometimes it just doesn't come back. So, you know, maybe it's time working people stop trying to play the rich man's game. Stop playing the millionaire fantasy. Stop buying scratcher tickets. And start organizing. Start making sure that the hard work that you put in is properly compensated. And that the people that you elect and send to represent you in the state houses and courthouses and stuff, right? You make sure that those people know that if they don't defend your right to have a decent, honest day's labor, give you a decent life, right? That they are on the chopping block electorally, right? That's labor 101, right? You have to stop looking at politicians as daddy and start looking at them as employees. And you walk in alone to your senator's office, good luck even getting some FaceTime with them. You walk up with 10,000 union workers from your local, all of a sudden, they're paying attention. What force on earth is weaker than the paltry force of one? The union makes us strong. I mean, that's not just a song lyric. What's your opinion on buying gold? I don't do it. I mean, I understand that, like, if you're going to do some investing, precious metals, gold, silver are a hedge against inflation. So if you put money into gold now, gold is not going to inflate, but it's not going to deflate either, right? Gold is, from what I understand, a relatively stable commodity. You're not going to make a fortune on it, but it's a good way to put your money into something and to take it out of the market and to lock in a value on your money. I don't have any interest in owning gold. I would never fucking advise somebody on doing it, but I do know that much about it.
Gold's doing the weird thing.
If you want to look at the fucking, you just got to look at like the whole picture.
Well,
right?
I mean, the whole picture almost looks like the stock market now. It looks like even gold's not.
Well, gold took a hit too. I mean, to a certain extent, there's gonna be no perfect place to set your money. I mean, we exist in a fiat. Like that dollar in your pocket is a promissory note. You can't redeem it for anything, directly. It's not like you can be like, you know what? I'd not like. I want to be paid in gold. It's
I
like
don't
you
know.
don't get that.
How much gold has grown in the past year makes me think it might crash with how it's pumped right now.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The gold crash. People are just throwing fistfuls of gold bars into the street.
I'm just saying, like, it's doing weird stuff.
Using them for door stops.
You can see, like, that's like the max. Like, it used to be pretty stable, and now it's just doing weird shit.
Yeah.
It's doing weird shit.
It's climbing. Maybe that just is like, it's probably indicative of just like market uncertainty.
Yeah.
Like people are like, fuck this, I'm buying gold. And then the more people buy gold, the scarcer it is, the more the price of gold goes up, right? What's your opinion on Bitcoin? I don't understand it enough to have a real genuine opinion on it, to be honest with you.
Well, the truth is, any person that wins requires a certain number of people to lose. People buying the dip requires a bunch of people to lose.
Right. So it requires, like, and you know who lost the dip? Granny. Grandma and grandpa, who had a lot of their money tied up in some real stable S&P 500 stocks, weren't sitting there by the fucking phone with their broker waiting to reinvest that and buy the dip and shit. Right? They just lost. And the people that bought the dip were the inside traders that Trump filled in before he reversed the tariffs, which I'm sure that there were thousands of those people by the end of it.
And the handful of people that saw it before it climbed up back.
And the handful of people that maybe knew he was going to do it, just didn't know the timing. They were waiting for a fucking trigger point, and you know what I mean? Those are the people that got rich. The people that got broke were grandma and grandpa, big union pensions, big like retirement hedge funds, people that weren't just like hawk watching their money and moving it immediately all day, just like sitting there like a fucking hawk. And even though a lot of those people probably lost a lot of money.
And the thing is, the dip isn't infinite. It's not like everyone can buy the dip.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people think they're buying the dip. It goes like this, and then they think, oh, it found a bottom, and it starts to climb back up, and so they buy, and then it goes bottoms out even worse, and then they lose their fucking whole ass trying to buy the dip. So it's really just a very select few people that are lucky, smart, or informed.
Yeah. That can buy the true dips.
Right.
And, people that think they're going to be the lucky person, they start freaking out when it starts dipping.
Right.
When a lot of people don't.
Well, that panic builds.
Yeah.
People invest at a certain point, they get some gains, and then they see those gains giving back, and a lot of people just panic sell. They're just like, well, I made 10% last year. I don't want to give that 10% back.
Just giving a big gift to the people that are going to buy the dip later.
Right. And that causes the stock to fall. It causes like a house of cards kind of thing on a certain stock price. And then there's all these people just waiting to snipe it. And they do. And it finds a bottom, and then it rebounds. And all of those people lost their ass. And that one person that sat there and waited and maybe even knew that there was going to be some announcement that was going to make people panic and make the stock price dip. Uh-oh. I will tell you this. When it comes to white-collar crime, I firmly believe in the United States that insider trading is responsible for more theft and malfeasance than any other type of white-collar crime. Insurance fraud, you name it all. I believe, honestly, you could probably put most other white-collar crime all together, and it would be outstripped by insider trading. You guys have no idea how much of this is going on, how rampant it is, how blatant it has become.
Why do you think all these rich people are buddy-buddy? It's not like they have a whole lot in common usually, besides being rich.
They're buddy-buddy because they're part of a protected elite class, and they keep each other up. They take each other's backs.
They give each other little hints.
Yeah. And so when you talk about amount, like, and I think a lot of people lose sight. What I just implied, if you believe that it's true, which I 100% believe it's true, you're talking about a mountain of fraud. A mountain of fraud that's propping up the global economy. And it's being played like a casino, like a casino that cheats openly and nakedly. And if you think that, like, encouraging workers to play that fucking game rather than organizing,
Well, it's almost like the kind of scam of like you need pawns to make money. You need to have the people that panic to buy dips.
yep.
You need all these pawns to lose or break even to make money.
Well, a lot of that panic is triggered by certain events and announcements internally within companies or legislative announcements. Oh, we're going to vote on such and such today, and it's going to 100% go this way. And so you can strategically know that that stock is about to dip, and you short it. You take a stock that's been climbing, and you take a huge short position on it a couple of days before Congress announces some legislative crackdown. And I think they need to like completely get rid of short positions. They should not let people
that one
gamble.
Asian market, I can't remember which one it was, but they turned off shorts when it started dipping.
Yeah.
After the tariff announcement.
Yeah.
They're like, we're not going to let a bunch of people just fucking
cash in
off of betting against it.
Right, because where the fuck is that money generated from? Like, where's the value of that extracted from when you take a giant short position on a company and that company fails? Who's picking up the tab of that? The owners of the stock. It's like, what? Like, what even is this fucking system, bro?
Yeah, it's like, or whoever sold you the shorts, I guess, is eating it. But I don't know. It's just, yeah, it's such a weird.
I don't know how it works.
Stock market.
It's like, where's the money they're paying you coming from?
Yeah.
It's like at some point, you start to get to somebody just invents some money and makes it go boom, and it's just put in your account.
I guess it's like taken from the people that lost money from not taking a short.
Fuck if I know. The bank. Okay, where's the bank get its money?
You know for a fact if everyone wanted to empty their accounts, it wouldn't be there.
Yeah. The bank is my money.
But
so wait a minute. Wait a minute. I put my money in the bank. That money is used to finance shitty trades where somebody went like, I heard a rumor that Disney's about to lose. I would like to take a short position on that. And wait, the money I put up in there, that's simple economics to you? Go fuck yourself, bro. That's simple pocket picking.
Yeah.
That's simple thievery.
Like we have the
open white collar theft.
We have the FDIC, but it has a limit. Like you can't infinitely insure all of your money. And the FDIC insurance is not meant for everyone to take their shit out at once, like back in the 20s.
Yeah. It's like, at some point, the Fed is just creating money, and that money is just filtering down, and it's like the ocean. You ever watch that Blue Ocean or Blue Planet or whatever? And it talks about how like a big giant, like an animal dies on the surface, right? There's a big scuffle or where a shark eats a whale up there, kills a whale. Well, the shark can only eat so much of that whale, right? Before it's full. And that carcass of that whale is like fed upon by large animals at the top as it floats down, right? And then it gets down into this like place where it's very few people, right, get the balance of the whale. right? So the shark gets a bite. That's the guy that maybe does really well with his investment, right? But the whale is eaten by a very few, very specialized organisms that are so unattainable to anybody else in the ocean strata that there's no way they could possibly get all that meat, right?
Well, it's like they're eating every little thing. They're able
Right.
to digest things other animals
Even
can't
down to the
digest.
bones.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll just turn the bones to complete sand. So that is an analogy for our economy right now, right? There is a big company, and right now people are, you know what I mean? That company gets wounded. Maybe some small investors take part in that, but for the most part, these short sales anyway, are just like that ocean strata. It's like there's a very small, very specialized group that actually gets to profit from short selling, and anybody else, you know, you might get lucky and make a little money here or there, but you're functionally shut out. Where does the whale get its food? The sun is the answer to everything. That's why you can't really functionally compare the economy to anything else, because it's an utter invention of human. It's like a combination of science and fantasy. Because you start talking economics with a person, and it won't be long until they start personifying the market. And then you start going like, wait a minute, no, the market is people. The market is products and people and the interaction. No. The market has a mind and a hand, and it's invisible, and it cannot be guessed. Right?
Well, like you guys reacted to that PragerU thing the other day. Remember? It's like the natural price.
Yeah, the natural price. Yeah, this idea that there is some sort of like natural equilibrium in the market that we're all just profiting from is an illusion that hides an absurd, obscene casino where rich fat cats get rich on the pittance that you plunk into the fucking one-armed bandit, and they're up there playing baccarat with your loss.
Everything that doesn't work about the economy is based on like not giving enough reverence to the natural market. It's like, oh, it would be better if we didn't.
Right, it's free market.
The order of things.
It's free market voodoo magic fuckery is what it is. And every economic conversation with a real economic, like an economy wonk, always ends up in some form of literal voodoo magic fuck shit. So anybody that's just going like, this is just basic economics, bro. You literally just compared economics to the ocean. Yeah, I understand. That the point was, as I'm trying to make a visual analogy for there being a small specialized group that gets to capitalize on the vast majority of the product or the profit in this case, right? But me admitting that the ocean or anything else really doesn't functionally work as a direct analogy for the economy is not a bonus. It's not an upside for economy wonks. And the casino thing, yes, they are alluring, but the patron is a willing participant. Yeah, but the patron also is a willing participant based on the idea that the casino's fair. You win some, you lose some, and that everybody's got a chance in there. What I'm saying is that nobody has a chance anymore unless you're a list of basically 100 people in this country. A very, very shrinking list of people in this country get to benefit from this weird voodoo magic fuck fest that's going on. And the rest of us all eat it. It was Grandma Tilly that lost her ass when the stock market crashed 3 days ago.
And like a lot of people that make money on the stock market do strategic losses. You know, they're looking at the overall balance sheets. They could have 3 things lose and 1 thing win to cover. Like it's the same thing with like venture capital. They lose money in a bunch of shit, but if one
thing hits, right? Yeah. That makes up for 100 losses, right? But in order to do that, you've got to have millions upon millions of dollars to throw. Yeah. Right? So it's a game that nobody gets to play. Unless you already have a boatload of cash, which Most people don't. Hence the fucking rigged game. And it'll never be fixed. It has to go. It has to crash. It has to be replaced with something that takes people's well-being into primary concern.
Like, we've been using the same rough apparatus for how many years now? Have we had, like, a stock exchange?
I mean, I don't know. Too many.
Yeah. Like, the economy is way different now than when that thing was made.
It needs to be redesigned. They don't even buy in cash. It all goes on the credit card. Yeah, rich people, well, you get to a certain point of wealth and it makes no sense for you to spend that wealth because that wealth makes you money.
Yeah. They don't even, like, a lot of their wealth is held up in property or stocks or anything. It's like, it's not like Elon Musk has a safe with $1 billion in it.
Right,
sitting anywhere.
You just take out a giant line of credit.
Yeah.
And you borrow against that line of credit when you want to buy some luxury fucking thing, pay all your bills on it, right? But you have to have money to get that kind of a line of credit, and that's the road.
Fucking Disney tricked us. It made us think that all these rich people are Scrooge McDuck with a big ocean of money that they're playing in.
Yeah, I know. It's like a bunch of fucking promissory notes from companies. The receipt bin, not the money bin.
It dates back to 13th century Europe. The stock exchange. I think maybe we might need a little...
Yeah, I think maybe it's time to figure out a different way of distributing things across the populace. I don't think the stock thing is working out. It's time.
13th century.
Yeah, a 13th century wonky fucking idea made up by some rich robber baron fuck. Yeah, no. It's time. I feel that way about the fucking whole Constitution, though, too. I feel like, well, maybe if not the Constitution, then the Bill of Rights needs a complete and utter overhaul. And it needs to be shored up in modern language, and it needs to be inclusive of modern technology and modern ways of communication. Like, I feel like we're hoping to exist in perpetuity with this archaic document written by people who couldn't even conceive of a computer if you explained it to them, right? That doesn't make them stupid. It just means they lived an entirely different lifestyle and in an entirely different world than we live in now. And the rules that they wrote are a little fucking arcane and a little too open to interpretation given the fucking unfamiliar language that's used throughout it. You know what I mean? I think it's time that it be a truly living document and that we get a full and comprehensive redo of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Otherwise, I just feel like we're locked in a prison, you know? We're just waiting for the fucking climate to give out.
Like, they didn't have any concept of, like, all the types of speech we have now.
They had no concept of weapons being what they are now. They had no concept of the stock market being what it is now. They had no concept of these things. There's no way they could. Language needs fixing. Terminology needs updating, and there needs to be things from the modern world included in that language and enshrined in that language. Period.
Like, if you look at other nations, they have way more recent constitutions than we do.
Yep.
Even though they're older countries, a lot of them.
Yep. Look, I feel like there needs to be massive regulations on, if you're going to have a company where your job is, I've created this big place where people come to talk, then I believe that there should be full transparent accountability with that company when it comes to bans. If somebody gets banned, I should be able to look at everything that person ever typed, and I should be able to see if that company is making a political ban, if that company is protecting its founder and CEO from criticism or parody, right? This idea that it's just a big black box and we don't get to see the fuckery, that the people that own the new public space are doing is just completely and utterly anti-democratic. It's completely and utterly anti-free speech. It's about controlling speech now. Fuck that. So these companies, if you want to make a fucking big ass influential marketplace of ideas, then you've got to be tolerant of everybody's fucking ideas. And you've got to allow the things that are allowed by freedom of speech. Parody, criticism, critique, all of these fucking things. You have to allow them unilaterally, not just for people beneath the ability to deal with it. Elon Musk needs to suck it up. Just like any other public figure needs to suck it up. And the fact that he can just give an order or hit a button and have speech about him disappear from the public record entirely is ludicrous.
Well, like, look at France. Their most recent constitution's from 1958. They've been around a hell of a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
And we're still working on the constitution we made when we were first founded.
1776?
Yeah.
It's time. Time for a reimagined and refreshed and modern constitution that includes some of the things that, what was it, Truman that talked about, or I don't think it was Truman. It was FDR that talked about the need for an economic Bill of Rights. The right of a person to a remunerative job, the right of that person for ample time for self-improvement and luxury and leisure, the right of every human being to a home. All of these things and more have to be enshrined.
Freedom to work, freedom to enjoy the fruits of one's labor, the freedom to own and control one's property, and the freedom to participate in a free market.
Yeah. So that needs to be enshrined.
And there is a part about freedom from unfair competition and monopolies, which
Yeah.
we definitely don't have.
No. Well, we had for a while.
Yeah.
We did. We used to be severely restrictive on these broad conglomerate companies and force them to break up into their component entities. But over my lifetime, that conglomeration is back in a bigger way even than it was during America's Gilded Age. So in America's Gilded Age, you had like these 15 big investment firms that owned the shipping and the production, but you're talking about like digital assets. There's so many more markets that have been swept up into these delivery, production, facilitation, point of sales, and it's all one big fucking giant company that all makes money on all of it. That's what is called a monopoly, and you have to break those up. And we're not just talking about like the Walmarts and the Amazons. We're talking about like the tech giants, the Googles.
Well, like now the measure of success for a lot of businesses is how much can I sell myself to a bigger company, not how much of a market share I can get. A lot of them are built to sell.
Of course, yeah. That's the idea of a lot of these products, is that you're hoping that another company that's already established just gives you a big windfall in cash and then takes over your product.
Yeah.
But
which is a totally different goal than what business used to have.
You hope we don't get the cyberpunk ending. Dude, we would be so lucky if we got the cool-ass cyberpunk ending, bro. Are you fucking kidding me? A dilapidated techno wasteland where everybody's augmented and it's all fucking crazy. And yeah, dude, you would be so fucking fortunate if that's how this ends, bro. You want to know what ending we're getting? There's a movie you could watch. Watch The Road. You ever seen that movie? Watch The Road. Or better yet, watch Threads. You want to take a little peek at the likely ending for most people on humanity, on the planet right now? Take a look at the movie Threads. Yeah. Check it out, bro. If you're afraid of the cyberpunk ending, if you think the cyberpunk ending is actually like one of the worst ones, you really need to watch those movies. The Road and Threads will give you a look at humanity's future. Yeah, Threads is free on YouTube, yeah. Do you believe in the fourth turning theory? I have no idea what that is, man. So I guess I would have to say no. Isn't that just the Bible or something? I don't know. My favorite scary movie, Threads. Yeah, a real horror flick, man, for sure. Probably the scariest horror movie of all time, maybe. Do you think someone will actually hit the button? I think it's a matter of time. Especially if there's no change in the fundamental order. Because it's citizenry who are used as a chaff in that situation, right? So we're all under that gun. Unless we seize back the power in these countries, no. No, I think it's a matter of time until there's an escalation that leads to an escalation. I think what will happen first is there will be what will be called by the powers that be a limited nuclear engagement. I've been waiting to see those words pop up in the headlines. A limited nuclear engagement happened yesterday in the border zone in Yemen, blah, 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 right? I've been waiting to hear those words because that is how it starts. Somebody is going to use one, right? And then somebody else is going to use one. It's not like there's always this scenario where it's like Russia just goes nuts and launches everything. That's not how it works, bro. It's an escalation. If you look at the last time that we really, I mean, there have been a few times since then, but look at the Cuban Missile Crisis. That was a series of escalationary actions, right? That was not like just some magical thing where the USSR and the United States just decided they wanted to nuke each other. You know, that was a series of escalations. And I think in the modern time, that's the headline that I'm waiting to see. There was a limited nuclear engagement today in the border zone in Yemen. There was a limited nuclear engagement today on the border zone between the contested border zone between Russia and Ukraine. That is, I'm waiting to hear it because that's how it begins. That's when you want to go buy up some water, get to the mountains, and start learning how to hunt or some shit, bro. Because it's fucked. You're fucked. That's when I will fucking start really genuinely thinking about battening down the hatches in a real way. As soon as I see those words in a headline, I know that it's a matter of days, months, or years if you're lucky. All it's going to take is somebody breaking that taboo one time and using one of these. Over. How long will the fish last after the apocalypse? Depends on the fish, right? The whole ecosystem is under threat now. Biodiversity in the ocean is down 80%, I think, in the last 100 years in terms of large ocean fish, right? We're talking about large species. So, yeah, a lot of fish are going to get fucked. Some small and very specialized fish, probably deep ocean fish, will get less fucked, maybe, but the whole ecosystem is interdependent. And we're living right now in the midst of the fourth collapse, like the fourth extinction event on the planet. We're in the midst of it. It doesn't happen on, it doesn't happen on movie scale. It doesn't happen over 2 hours like it does in the movies. We're all watching it. I mean, species are disappearing at an alarming rate. Habitat is disappearing at an even more alarming rate. Just take a look at the number of species that went extinct in 2024, and Also, just take a look at the ocean biodiversity, ocean acidification rates. Oh, here's something I was thinking about today. We are a couple of months from the traditional start of hurricane season. And this year is expected to be an insane year. I think NOAA is predicting 17 storms, with 9 of them rising to the level of hurricane. So that's going to be nuts. You know what I mean? And none of these things are being addressed. Some of them are unaddressable other than to start living defensively, right? Like climate collapse is the number one thing that everybody should be screaming their heads off about, not trans athletes. I mean, if you truly care about your children and your grandchildren, your theoretical great grandchildren, or whatever the fuck, right? You care about them having a planet, having the experiences that you had, hearing the ocean breeze, staring at a green tree, watching a squirrel run by, hearing the birds in the morning, having a cute little school that they go to, and having a little life that develops as they get older, and maybe one day getting a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and maybe one day getting married, maybe one day having, you have that dream, then the number one thing that every human being on this planet should be screaming about should be climate change right now. Right now. But of course, we live in this environment where the powers that be have gotten so fucking good at manufacturing consent. They've convinced adult human beings that a trans woman getting 5th place in a swimming competition is the end of civilization as we know it. And it's literally while the world is burning. So, you know what I mean? I don't know what to tell you about that. Hopefully Colorado is good for the climate crisis. I mean, go north is all I'll tell you. Get as far as you can from the equatorial belt, because it's going to be a fucking no-go zone in the next 50 years. Parts of it are already nigh on uninhabitable. So get ready. Don't worry though, only 1/3 of humanity lives on the equatorial belt, so it shouldn't be that big of a fucking deal. I'm sure those people will find somewhere to go real easily in this world, right? And there'll be plenty of fucking places for them to go, right? Right? Yeah, it's endlessly fucking tragic to me. And I participate in it because I'm trying to bring this message here. If you really boil my fucking policies down or politics down, it is labor, 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 and climate, climate, climate. These are the 2 things that humanity needs to address, and now, if we want to avoid some crazy shit. We're already due for some crazy shit. When it comes to the climate, it's hold on, buddy. But I genuinely believe that there could be a sea change in humanity that allows us to prepare for some of the worst of that. But if we should have been working on it 30 fucking years ago, and nobody's even talking about it now. A global paradigm shift that's going to allow for this fucking inexorable climate change. It's just not on the book. We're just going to party like it's 1999 until it's 2011. You know what I mean? That seems to be like the mentality we're stuck in. And yeah, it's going to cause a whole lot of suffering for people. I got to be honest with you, dude. I feel bad for couples that have young kids right now. I really do. I think that generation, and when I'm talking about kids that are still in like grade school and shit, I feel like that generation of people is going to see some wild shit, bro. Wild shit. Bro, lighten up. Okay, bro. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. Everything is okay. Everybody's gonna be happy. Nobody dies ever. Nobody dies ever. Your parents will never die. Your grandma will live forever. You will live forever. Your pets will live forever. It's a smiley, happy world. There's nothing going on. You don't have to worry about a thing. Just keep on watching the internet. Everything's a-okay. Just put a big smile on your face. Unicorns and fluffy kittens, warm sweaters and fluffy mittens. Doodly. Not good enough for you? Lighten up. Do you feel better now? Does everybody feel better now? I know I don't. And I hope you don't either, kids. I do. That's fucking pretty lame, bro. You're like one step above your mama bringing you a chalky baba because your tummy was upset. Like, you're just basically the adult version of that, dude. I had to give you your chalky baba. It had the opposite effect for you. Sorry about that, bro. He asked me to be positive. I gave him the positivity, man. It was sincere positivity. You know, I gave him the sincerity. He wanted it, and I gave it. Look. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows, little bunnies. Kitty cats, furry mittens. My mom will never die. Mesophil? Is that a ligma? Yeah, thanks for the 5 Canucka bucks. I appreciate that. When I was a kid, there was a Saturday cartoon puppet show called HR Puff and Stuff. I never heard of it. Google it. I remember HR Puff and Stuff. HR Puff and Stuff used to show super early in the morning when I was really little. And I remember it was before the sun came up on a Saturday. Oh my God, he's huge. goodness, D didn't see that. Oh my goodness, he's a bat boy. There's a big old raccoon walking the fence line over there, and he just went behind the trees. Dude, he was huge. He was like, he probably had 5 pounds on Dynor. That was a big, giant raccoon. I couldn't there's no way I could have fucking zoomed in on it right for you guys. I saw him walk across this little spot where there's light, and then he went in behind the bushes, but he was like, with no tail, nose to ass. Yeah, raccoons are pretty cute. I ain't gonna lie, they're pretty fucking cute. But yeah, so HR Puffin stuff would show, and sometimes I would switch around because dude, being a kid was so fun. I would switch around because some of the channels would have different stuff, and so there was Captain Kangaroo. I don't know if you remember him, because was an old show too. I could tell he was from like the 70s or something, or the 60s probably. At least that's how I remember him. There was Captain Kangaroo, and then there was all of the old like Schoolhouse Rock stuff that would show on PBS early in the mornings. That was cool. So yeah, you had a lot of options. See, like I had to get up early a lot because my parents worked shift work. And so like a lot of times I would have to get up and go to a babysitter's house in the morning. And that means like, you know, my parents had to be at work at 7. That means I had to be pretty much up and ready to go. And they had me over at the babysitter by like 6 at the latest, which means I was, you know, up and around at like 5, you know. And so I used to watch all these really old commercials, and I would know that no, not commercials, cartoons. Well, I guess they kind of were just commercials, but I remember I knew that the day was really starting and that the good shows were coming when I heard one song. Anybody my age that grew up watching the same kind of broadcast TV that I watched probably knows the song that announced that the Saturday morning cartoons had really started. Does anybody remember? Not the best one, just the one that let you know that the real cartoons had started. Let's see, how does it go? Magic and mysteries are part of their history, along with the secrets of gummy berry juice. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and dude, that's when you knew, oh shit, dude, it's Saturday and the real cartoons have started. Got it. Okay. Gummy bears, bro. Bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears. Dude, little like 6-year-old Paul was stoked when that shit came out. Because I knew that Saturday morning had truly begun. You know how I knew that Saturday morning was sadly over? When the last thing to watch for kids was Butterfly in the sky. I could go twice as high. It's like, oh man. Right after this, Mom makes us go outside. You don't even know the references, bro. I'm old as dirt, bro. I'm older than dirt, bro. Yeah, Reading Rainbow. I had Reading Rainbow with Geordie LaForge. Yeah, you could rent Reading Rainbows from the library. That is true. Friends to know and ways to grow. A reading rainbow. And there was, get pretty stoked for, sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks, but these two gumshoes are picking up the slack. There's no case too big, no case too small. If you need help, just call Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. That was premium. There was boom 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 ah 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 boom 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 boom. Yo, tailspin, tailspin. All the trouble we get in with another tail to spin. What kind of hobbies do I got? I'm a video gamer and a movie guy for hobbies mostly. I'm trying to get into a new hobby, to be completely frank with you. I feel like I'm on the cusp of getting into it, but I'm just struggling with like how to do it. But I kind of want to get into like tabletop gaming, kind of painting the little figures, you know, and then have an army. And I think that would be kind of cool. But yeah, my hobbies right now are mostly just like vidya and you know, kind of like nature watching and movies, probably. What is it? Is that big old raccoon coming out? Did you see him or hear him over there? All right, we'll go inside. How about that? All right, I'm done. I'll see you guys.